Hey folks, Ryan Rose here, and I'm about to teach you how to get a really good stop on your horse. Now, you're probably wondering why you stand on the ground if you're about to teach us a good stop off our horse. The reason is, I find that there's a lot of times we're not taking advantage of teaching our horse to back up on the ground with a good shape and good effort. See, I could ask her to do a nice back up here on the ground. If I can't do this on the ground, I'm probably going to have trouble in the saddle. And the other thing, even if I know how to back a horse up really well in the saddle, which is going to help lead to a good stop, if I'm teaching them to lean into the halter or the bosal or pressure on the ground, that's going to create the same pattern for me in the saddle. And so I want to make sure that before you try doing this, the second part of this video in the saddle, I would like to see that you could just back your horse up real nice and soft on the ground, okay? So before you try this next part, make sure you go out and give it a try on the ground first, and it'll really set you and your horse up for success. One of the things I think is a key element to a good stop, there's two elements. Number one is a really good backup, okay? So every time you back your horse up, you're putting your body and your reins in the same position that you use for stopping. So the more your horse is thinking about backing up, the better your stop's gonna be. Think about this, if you're driving your car and you're going 20 miles an hour, you throw the shifter in reverse, it's probably going to stop, isn't it? I don't recommend trying that, but if you put your car in reverse while you're going forward, it's going to stop. And so we can develop a really good pattern in our horse and create a good stop before we ever try a stop. We can do that by teaching them to back up. Okay, that's element number one. Element number two is you got to have your horse wanting to stop already. Okay, so I've already ridden her around, trotted some circles, got her to follow my energy. And now that she's stopping off my energy, now I'm going to teach her to do more of a proper stop, okay? And by that I mean I'm going to ask her to stop in a frame, which will be like this, where she has a little bit of soft feel. I'm going to set my hands here and go, and I'm going to ask her to stop in a nice frame. So this is more stopping as a maneuver versus stopping off my energy is more just teaching a horse to rate your speed and get in harmony with you. Okay, so before I do that, I'm going to work on a good stop, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach her to do what we call a draw stop. So I'm going to gather up my reins here, and I'm going to bring them back, and I'm going to ask her to back up. And you can see my legs are quiet, and she's backing up off that bosal. You can do this in a bosal or a snaffle or a bridle, whatever you're riding in. If they're working good off that, you should be able to use that to do this exercise. Very good. Then I'm going to ride forward, and this time I'm just going to ride real slow, and I'm going to pick up my reins, and she should stop. Okay, I'm going to give her a little release there. And we're going to go into a backup. Now, one of the things I like to do when I'm backing a horse up is I'll say, whoa, whoa, whoa. So now when I ride forward, when I think she really understands that cue, I could give her the cue when I stop. I didn't do it that time yet. I want this first exercise for her to think about my reins and what that means. And that means get back off that. I want her to flex, but I want her to move her feet. So if I feel her over flexing to that bosal, I'm going to add my legs. I might just do a little drive there with my legs. Then I'm going to ride forward again. Do a stop. Very good. So I feel like she's thinking about stopping now. So now I'm going to try it out of a trot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trot a circle, and I'm going to say this spot right here is X. Okay, so this is the spot in the arena I'm going to do my stop at. You can put your X wherever you want to, but my point is put a spot in the arena that is where you're going to stop so that the horse can know what you're about to do there. And that anticipation of the stop is what's going to kind of bring the timing together where they're going to stop right when you ask. Okay, so here we go. I want to pick up a little trot. Now the more go your horse has, the longer you're going to need to trot when you do this. Okay, now right as I approach my X, I'm going to pick up the reins here and ask her to bridle up a little bit. Now, she stopped, but she dove her nose down. I don't know if you guys could see that. So watch, I'm going to pick my hands up and say, hey, shift your weight back when you're stopping. And then I'm going to spring forward and I'm going to go trot again. Because she stopped, but she put her weight on her front hand, and that's not quite what I'm looking for here. Here we go, get ready, get ready. Ooh, ooh, that one. Now, that one felt real good. It felt like her butt went down more than her front end, which is what I'm looking for. She still maybe put her weight down a little bit, but I definitely felt an improvement. And then she rebounded off of it. She actually took a step backwards. So that's how I know she was really thinking about getting back and down. So that's a great exercise. It's kind of a draw stop to practice stopping your horse. while they're thinking about backing up. So again, the big secret is teach your horse a really good backup. You can teach it on the ground, teach it in the saddle, and then get your horse's impulsion good where they're following your energy, and then you put the two things together and you're going to have a really cool stop.